Evening all, you are joining us in Helsinki, Finland now, so not really much to report. So we got the flight from Copenhagen earlier today. We've checked into the Airbnb and we've had a look around for like restaurants nearby because there's no Too Good To Go here, which had been an absolute game changer in Copenhagen. Had a look at nearby restaurants. Doesn't seem like there's loads of options in terms of, it seems a bit like the Netherlands where they don't seem to, unless we're missing it, they don't really seem to have much of their own food. It seems to be a lot of foreign food for the restaurants. Well, they do seem to have a lot of the seafood, but there doesn't seem to be many near us. So we've downloaded Walt, which is like their version of Just Eat. So we've got some seafood, very highly rated on the way. So fingers crossed for that.
All in all, first full day in Helsinki today. So as usual, plan is to start with a walking tour. Then after that, there is an open air museum we want to go have a look at, and then probably a museum after that if we've got time. So next scene should be on the walking tour.
Right, our walking tour has been cancelled, so, well, we've just booked another one a bit later.
The good point about this one is that it doesn't need advance reservation. It's 20 euros. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Right, walking tour done, which finished in the library, which was absolutely superb. So you can go there and play board games. Obviously you can read books for free. Borrow power tools, you can use recording studios for free, you can go and play video games. I just think it's very interesting because it's unfortunately it's quite a sad reflection, I think, on the state of the UK, without getting too political, but I think when you look at like the taxes we're paying and the tax take of the UK, like it's not dissimilar to Scandinavian and Nordic countries where the taxes are also very high. And then you just go over here and you look at the level of services they're getting for their money compared to us. It is just ridiculous. Like for example, when we were in Denmark, like it's pretty normal if you're going into like a restaurant or a cafe or like a pub, just leave your baby in a pram outside because the cold air is good for them. Like you would never do that in the UK for safety reasons. And again, like they are getting a lot for their taxes, although the taxes are very high. So yeah, walking tour was very good. I thought it was one of the best ones we've had probably ever. What about you?
I agree. It was good. It was interesting.
Right. So now there's a couple more buildings I want to have a look at. Then we're going to go to an open air museum on one of the islands near the city. So we're heading into the island that is the open air museum now. So it's got loads, it's kind of like Beamish really, and they've got them everywhere. So we've done them in quite a few different cities. But you can see all the old houses which they've just moved here and rebuilt. You can normally go inside them, but that's only open in the summer, maybe the spring as well. So you can
May to August.
Yeah, maybe just the summer. So yeah, so at this time of year you can still go and walk around and have a look at the buildings. We can't actually go inside any of them because all the staff aren't there, so we'll go and see what's there. Right, I think we're basically done with the open air museum. How are we rating it?
6.5, 7.
I'd probably
Alright.
give it a 6. I think it needs some leeway because it wasn't actually open inside, which all the other ones we've done would be. But even still, it seemed a bit smaller than a lot of the others. So I think like ones we've done in like Oslo and Bucharest, I think they were probably bigger and better, but it was still okay. So heading back to the city now, and I'll probably do the city museum next, that'd be my guess.
What?
Right, Helsinki Museum done. I thought it was rubbish. Not really much information. Well, you saw it. Not really much else in there besides what was on there. So if I was in Helsinki again, I probably wouldn't even bother. That being said, it takes 5 minutes, so I suppose there's no reason not to. So, anything to add?
No.
Right, so I think the plan is going to get something to eat. We'll probably just get another Volt, however you pronounce it, and then that'll be it.
Samuel, what pizza have you got?
I've got a smoked reindeer pizza, so
Very nice.
I've had reindeer before in Norway, but I've never had it on a pizza, so we'll try it now.
Bit morbid.
I like it. Would recommend to all Christmas lovers.
Lovely. And I've got a margarita with pineapple.
Hello, you're joining us at Suomenlinna Fortress, a fortress that has at various times in history been controlled by the Swedes, the Russians and the Finns. Originally built by the Swedes, it became part of the Russian Empire in the 19th century, which it remained until the fall of the Russian Empire in 1918. Well, it was actually 1917, but it stayed Russian for another year after that. And then after that, it became Finnish for the first time, served as a military base, but now only remains as a naval academy. So it's an island just outside of Helsinki, and we're going to have a look around. And there's also a very interesting museum about the history of the island, and it was also a submarine base in World War II. Although in Finland there was no such thing as World War II, they just call it the Winter War. And the reason is because Russia invaded Finland and it went very, very badly. Finland still lost, but they really embarrassed the Russians. And what then happened was, when the Germans invaded Russia, the Finns invaded with them, and this is the point where history stops if you ask a Finnish person. So they just talk about the heroic defence of Finland. They actually invaded Russia with the Germans, which you wouldn't know, because they just talk about the Winter War in 1940. Nothing happened after 1941, so but we're going to find out more. So Suomenlinna today is one of Helsinki's residential districts, home to approximately 800 residents. Did you know that, Amy?
I did, you told me it earlier.
I did.
Yeah.
Well remembered.
Had fun.
I'm still tired from the weight session the other day. Also I got the bag on my back, so
What weight with the weights?
it doesn't matter what they are. Right, cut. So this bit was actually, and this embankment was built by the Russians, so it's all part of the Russian defences. So this is the Vesico, which is the last remaining Finnish submarine from World War II, because they were on the losing side, despite their omission of that fact frequently. They weren't allowed submarines after the war, so they were all sent to Belgium to be scrapped and decommissioned, with the exception of this one, which is open in the summer like everything else.
kuin laivaliikenteellä. Jalankulkijat pääsevät pitämään yhteyttä kaupungin kanssa
Right, Fortress basically done now. So we've done the museum, we've had a wander around. I think that's, well, we've been around the whole island, so I think we have literally seen everything. I thought it was pretty good. We budgeted we'd allocated a full day for it, which was definitely unnecessary, but I think a half day is about right. So yeah, I think it's worth doing. Probably like a 7 out of 10, what do you say? Yeah, so I think we don't have a plan now, so we're going to head back into Helsinki and then figure out something to do. So who knows? Could be literally anything next. So I think having had a think, our plan now is to obviously head back to Helsinki, probably go to the library and maybe get a buffet, play some board games, you know, all the things that you would do in a typical library in the UK really. So yeah, probably going to spend the rest of the day in the library just because there's so much to do there.
We are back from the library, from our board games and lunch. I had a very nice afternoon. What about you?
I had a very nice afternoon too.
Would you recommend the library? It's the one in Helsinki?
If you've got nothing else to do.
Fair enough. Right, so yeah, final evening. So I think we'll just be getting ready for our ferry to Tallinn tomorrow. So next scenes will probably be on the ferry actually. So now that we are basically at the end, how are you rating Helsinki overall?
6.5, 7. It's not loads to do.
No, I would agree. I think it would have been slightly better not better, but slightly more to do in the summer. But you can see the stuff you missed out on because a lot of it you can still walk around it. You just have to pay to get in and you can't go inside. But I wouldn't come back to do it. And I think if you are doing Helsinki, a couple of days is probably enough. I can't imagine what we'd have done if we had another 2 or 3 days here. We'd have had to start going to other places.
Tallinn for a day trip.
Yeah. So next scenes will be Tallinn tomorrow, or the ferry to Tallinn anyway.